Today we'll be cooking cuttlefish. I'll come on to that in a second, but what I find is a lot of chefs actually buy sea bass, they buy turbot, they buy the most expensive prime ingredients and chop it up and cook it. Now, that's all well and good, and any fool can do that. But what I try and concentrate on is cheaper cuts of fish and meat. Not only do they take a certain degree of skill to cook them, but they also taste far nicer, I believe. One of which is cuttlefish. Next up you can see this. It's a really ugly looking beast, as you can see. Now, first thing I need to do is just to pull the head out. Now if I just pull the head out, like that, you'll see all the gubbins comes out, and that is what you end up with, something like that. It's fabulous. We'll wash that in a second. And just take out the inside. So you don't have to be too prescriptive here. All I'm worried about is just getting out all the innards, and you can see there, that is the ink from the tack itself. Okay, it looks pretty gory, doesn't it? but it's worth it. Now your fishmonger will do this for you, quite happily. But I like to do it because I know that it's all done properly. And you don't have to be too worried about it. All we have to do is make sure you wash out all that inky black gunk. What's that? And just rinse off the outside, and fill it out with water and get all the gunk out. And don't worry too much because we're going to take it all out later on anyway. So wash it like that, get the head. It does look pretty gross. I know what you're thinking, but it's beautiful. Now this thing to take out as well. This is called the beak. This is what the thing eats with. If you just there, now it comes, and that is the sharp part. So basically what it does is it eats like that. That. There we are. Don't need that bit. And again, just rinse it off. Take out the inside of the head. Like that. Give it a good rinse. Rinse out my tray. Again, your fishmonger will do it for you, but you know, what's the problem? It's only a bit of fish. Says he. Right, back over to the stove. There it is done. I'll just show you. Nice and clean, look at that. There's a bit there, but don't worry about it, that will cook off later anyway. Right, this is a two-stage process of cooking anyway. What we need to do is, first of all, we've got some olive oil melting in the pan, and I just need to crush up 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. You don't even have to crush them because you're going to cook it for 2 hours, but I like to. And as you can see, the pan's nice and hot. Garlic, in there, and you can feel the smell the aroma coming out already. To that, I'm also going to add 1 onion. You don't need a lot; you just need a little tiny bit. And I'm not even really going to be bothered to chop this up too well. I'm just going to chop it into 3 or 4 pieces. That goes in like that. So the onions have softened very slightly, and then the fish goes in. The tentacles. In we go. And also the body, like that. I'm also going to add generous couple of pinches dried oregano. Italians very rarely use fresh oregano because it doesn't have much flavour. So you can put that into there. And about 100 mils sherry vinegar. A nice big clump of basil, just chuck it in. Don't have to be too precise about that. Half a vegetable stock cube, organic if possible. A little bit of sea salt. Sprinkling of pepper, black pepper ground or whatever. Just stir up. Lid on. And pop it into a preheated oven. Like that. And cook it for about 2.5 to 3 hours. this should, it has to be cooked. I just want to show you the difference. It's hot. You can see this, but I'll lift it up and show you. This is what it should look like at the end. Now, what I need to do is tip this out and strain off the juice to get all the meat out. Put that into there. The darkness comes from the sherry vinegar, so it's delicious. What we need to do is just shake that off, and then carefully pick off the meat. As you'll see, that's the head. It looks delicious. Into there, don't want that bit there. The innard, and as you can see, the meat will just fall off the bone. It's very hot, like that. Okay, into there, and there. That's the bone you give to your budgie. Okay, that's what you see on the beach. Right, next part's really simple. I'm going to chop up the mixture first, and again, it is quite hot, and what we need to do is just to make sure we get any dark pieces off, like that bit there, and it will just cut up really, really easily. It's so tender and soft. The meat underneath is beautifully white. Delicious, smells nice. I quite like the crispy, crunchy bits. And just cut that up. Very hot. I just cut the tentacles just into sections until you just cut through like that. Keep going round. A bit of dark pigment, get rid of that. Cut straight through. It's just like cooking and eating octopus, really. There's no difference. Just chop it up, and it smells absolutely fabulous. Get this into the bowl, and I'll show you where to finish this. Really, really, very, very simple. Right, chopped cuttlefish. To that I'm going to add cherry tomatoes or quartered small vine tomatoes. Again, as many as you like. There's about, I suppose, the equivalent of say 10 or 12 cherry tomatoes there. I'll just pop them on top. Peas, cooked peas or broad beans. The recipe says broad beans, but peas is absolutely fine. I'll put a little sprinkling of sugar onto there, about 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt, plenty of pepper. Like that. I'll put a little touch of dried oregano into there. I'll roughly chop 1 small packet of basil, and I'm just going to fold it up and run the knife through like that. On top, it's as simple as this. Finally, a little slug of sherry vinegar. I suppose about 2 or 3 tablespoons. Equal amount of olive oil. Don't need much. And just fold that through, excuse me, with a spoon like that. Now, if you can leave this overnight, all the better. The acid will carry on overnight, almost marinating it and cooking it down. It smells absolutely fabulous. The way to serve it is dead simple. I just get a plate. Got some little gem lettuce here. I'm just going to cut into wedges. Chuck that in the bowl. Don't be too precise. So here I've got some rocket. Again, just a little bit of that onto there. This will feed 4 adults easily. Like that. And finally, spoon over cuttlefish salad. And eat it warm. Must be warm. Like that. I'll put it all in there. sprinkle over the top. It is as simple as that. There it is, cuttlefish with broad beans or peas, tomatoes and sherry vinegar. Delicious.